Hi, Elizabeth. How you doing? I've got your presentation up. First thing I want to say is thank you very much for going first. That's not always the easiest thing to do, so I really appreciate that. I'm looking at your presentation here, and I have been for the last 10 minutes or so, and I've really been going through this trying to get my thoughts together and to give you a real insight as to where we're going and where we're at, so to speak. So I really want to reconsider your approach here, and I have a number of reasons why, and I'm going to share those with you, and then I'd like you to just to reassess. Okay, let's start with I'll tell you what. Let's start with the assignment specifications. So you should render to near completion your trade show booth design. Let me get that up here. There's your trade show booth design, and I just want to get that in so we can see it. Okay. And it says you should do this in Adobe Illustrator and be sure to label the parts. Now, this is my tips to success from this assignment, which is at the top of the assignment. And in all of these assignments throughout the entire course, I always give the first post. And in that post, I give tips on how to get an A on the assignment. I'm not making up anything here. These are all based on the steps to success from the course lecture. Okay, so for example, this is based on this. Okay, so nothing new here. I'm not sneaking new requirements or pulling any requirements here. I'm just really describing things as they should be. So this says you should do this in Adobe Illustrator. Be sure to label all the parts of the booth and describe the ideation and its function. Well, I see some sort of an object that looks like it's on top of a table. And I see a chart and some images. So, is that adhering to this? You should label all the parts of the booth and describe the ideation and function. I don't think that's following that at all. Be sure to include a materials list. You can find a good in-depth discussion on materials in your textbook. So my recommendation to here would be to do exactly what it says. Label the parts. Tell us what this is. Tell us what this is. What are these? What is this right here? What are these? What are they made from? How are they printed? What is this right here? Okay, and what are they all made from? The materials. Tell us what those materials are made from and try to make them as sustainable as possible. But you have to tell us what's going on here. Excuse me. A general practice that I recommend for all students in all presentations for any assignment is to present your work like assuming the viewer has no idea what you're looking at. So this would require an introduction. It would require a very, very intricate way of describing each one of these pieces, at least a paragraph or two, describing each one of these pieces and how do they relate to the big picture of the project. And right here we have this is all we have. Handout, booth, giveaway. That's it. That's all we have. So I think we're really, really setting the viewer up at a disadvantage because the viewer just doesn't have enough information here to understand what they're looking at. Okay? So then moving forward, you use Adobe Illustrator to create a rough of the collateral piece. And let's look at your collateral piece. That's the handout, the informational collateral. Okay, and what you have here is a leaf with 7 sentences on it. That's not informational collateral. Informational collateral is something that it's an informational piece that you hand to the attendees at the trade show booth. Now, by the time they're done reading it, they should know who you are, what your cause is, what they can do to help, and how and where to go to help. Okay, so in other words, you're presenting your whole concept on your informational collateral piece. So right now, all you're doing is giving them a leaf that says, go recycle paper. And I just don't see that as being a really well-developed informational collateral piece. Now, to take that a step further, it says, using design. Okay, so okay, so this, now don't forget the materials. What is this made from? What's it printed on? What is the printing process? What is the ink made from that it is printed that is used to print. Okay, and that's assuming that you're going to change your handout, which I highly recommend you do. I mean, hey, if you're at a loss, do a trifold brochure. All right, it's versatile. It holds a lot of information. It's easy to design, relatively easy to design, and I think it will be sort of function in this instance right here, much more so than the leaf. Okay, so then in your handout, you would tell us what the paper is made from. What is the ink made from? What is the printing process? Why is it the most sustainable? Why is it the best choice for this project? Then you'll go back to Adobe Illustrator and we'll create drawings of your 3D giveaway piece. Now you did that, but I would really want to talk about the giveaway piece. Okay, without labeling it, here's what we have. Okay, we see stand tall against deforestation. And it's hard to tell what that is because you don't have a little label that says notebook. Okay, so, and then I see you show your different angles of the notebook, but without label, for a minute, I thought that was a pen, some kind of a pen. Okay, so can you see how important it is to label the work so that the viewer knows what they're looking at? The other thing is this is where I really want you to reevaluate, okay? This is a giveaway piece for deforestation, but you're giving out a paper notebook. You haven't said anything about what is the paper. Paper is made from trees. And that's really, really an important thing right here because you're saying one thing and doing another. So again, without labeling, without giving us the materials, we don't know if your intention is to use recycled paper in here. We don't know if your intention is to use hemp paper or any other kind of sustainable paper choices, okay, because you haven't told us. All right, so those are my recommendations. I recommend you go back, read through this Steps to Success again very, very carefully. Definitely, most definitely go to the book and take a look at the materials. That chapter's not assigned this week, but take a look at the materials chapter and you'll really get an idea of how to do this. All right. At that point, listen, I just want to do something here, and I don't want to discourage you, but I just want to show you from another student where they're at with the work, okay? And here's their trade show booth. Okay, so they've got trade show booth design, then they've got it all done in Illustrator. They're telling what everything is, and then on the next page, they have all of the materials that are going to be used. Okay, and that's no joke. I mean, that's kind of basically what we're looking at. Okay, so this, I'd like to see a little bit more well-developed over like this example here. Okay, can you see how this example is giving much, much more detailed information than some of the other less developed examples? And I will include yours in that. I think that you can really, really push this. I really do, Elizabeth. I really do. It's just going to take a matter of really sitting down and deciding how far you want to take this thing. And listen, this is a course-long project, all right? So we will be working on this the entire course. So presumably, this will be a piece in your portfolio, your student portfolio. So I'd say treat it as such, you know what I'm saying? I mean, really get in here and try to nail each one of those steps to success. Okay? If you have any questions, comments, or other, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.